And we're live. So welcome everyone to WandaVision Rewind, Chapter 7. I'm Arzu from RZD2.com and the Geeky Waffle, and with me are...
I'm Maggie from Your Money Geek and Twitter.
I'm Candace from the Geeky Waffle.
I'm Nicole.
I'm
sorry.
Oh, sorry. Well,
Go ahead.
Hello, I'm Norhal from Twitter.
And I'm Nicole from Next Best Picture.
Okay, so this is Chapter 7, Breaking the Fourth Wall. So we're going to kind of do this like we did last week. It's just a bunch of questions. We're going to have a bit of a discussion. We're not going to kind of go through the whole thing chronologically like we usually do. So
Because a lot happened.
A lot happened. So
Yes.
probably definitely easier to do it this way. So let's kick things off. So we've got Wanda looking like a Raylo circa January 2020 in the PJs. Can't get out of bed.
This is what happens when you give Maggie and Arzu control.
I cut a whole Kylo paragraph out of something for you, Candace. I needed this.
Oh, man.
Okay, continue. I'm just walking.
Because she is in her Raylo feels. She is actually not in this episode all that much. So let's just kick it off with, I guess, the big thing. It was Agatha all along.
Yeah.
All along. Yeah, I love the song.
And who didn't see that coming?
Was
Okay, so
anyone
that's the
surprised?
thing. Is even though like we all knew it was like Agatha Harkness the entire time, I was still like that Pikachu meme, like
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, I knew that she was sketchy. I didn't trust her. But I will say I was kind of surprised that, I thought, and maybe she still will be, but I had assumed she was, working for someone bigger, maybe.
maybe she still is.
Yeah, and she still could be, but I was surprised.
And we have Ben joining us now. And here
Hello.
is Ben.
Hello, Van.
This is what happens when traffic gets in the way.
You are all good. We are talking about the big reveal.
Oh,
The
did
only reveal
Wanda?
that matters.
Did Wanda try to keep you from the show, like
It
she
was
was
awful.
with
There
Vision?
were children. There was ice cream, and I can't deal with that. I have no ability to say no.
There you go.
So maybe she is still working for somebody bigger because
Yeah.
that seemed to wrap up a little quickly. It was Agatha all along, but we still have 2 episodes to go. So
It's
Norhal.
a little on the nose, if you ask me, to have a song that just says "It's Agatha all along." Wink, wink.
yeah.
Norhal, you mentioned in our chat about the fly, or was it you, Maggie?
Yes. Well, there's a fly, and I was reading that the first appearance of another. Well, it has been mentioned a lot on the web, on the media about Mephisto, but it says that his first appearance of a comic was a fly. So it was interesting shot that they focused from the Senor Scratchy, the bunny, and then they focused on the fly or the other insect on the wall. So that was interesting.
And my friend Sean pointed out that there are a bunch of flies down in the basement as well. Hello, Sean. He will be watching this tomorrow. It's a little too late for him. But he pointed out that there are these flies downstairs as well. So it's this big question of what is going on with the flies. But I did see an interesting theory about Mephisto, which I know we talked about last week because of China. We're probably not getting actual Mephisto. But is it possible that they're going to combine Agnes's character with Mephisto, since in the comics they have a lot of interactions and there's a lot of stuff that you could merge the 2 characters together and have a more palatable global interpretation of Mephisto?
Are they going to pull a Mandarin and just make it completely the opposite, and then be like, "Oh no, everyone gets angry," and then chooses that?
But if they do that, do you think they'll still have somebody that Agatha is answering to, or would that be it then, that it just kind of stops with Agatha?
I guess it could still be Nightmare.
True.
Yeah.
I think Nightmare is a lot more marketable.
Yes, and I have a video on YouTube all about my nightmare theory. It's on there. Go watch.
Yeah.
So then, yeah. So like, if it is Agnes though, Agatha all along,
Agatha.
I guess, is she just like an agent of chaos, just there to kind of make Wanda's life miserable, or do we think she's gonna like shift into that mentor role that like y'all have been saying is more of a comic thing, or maybe both? Like she wants Wanda to unleash her chaos. I don't know. What do y'all? I was wondering what y'all thought.
What about this?
Yeah, that
Well,
book, it gave me a lot of Doctor Strange vibes. Like,
Yeah.
all the books.
I think it's a Darkhold. But
The
So do you
sacred
think
text.
that they would want to do the Darkhold since they've already introduced it in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Runaways, but maybe the average MCU viewer hasn't seen that?
yeah, I feel like there's definitely a potential for them to reintroduce it in a wider audience. I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was wildly popular and had a huge audience, so the concept's already out there and floating in the minds of like hardcore Marvel fans that watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So maybe
Could work.
it could work.
Yes.
Yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is technically not canon with the MCU.
Since when?
Since forever, they said Phil is dead in the MCU.
You know what? Multiverse.
Multiverse.
Agent Carter is canon with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Agent Carter is canon here too.
Is Agent
Multiverse
Carter?
Is it?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Did
Now
they
that-
name like
Now that Steve went out
retcon it?
to
Yeah.
yeeted himself back?
Well, I mean, it ended on a cliffhanger. Could have yeeted himself 5 minutes after she's kissing Susan in the chair. We don't know.
Oh, the drama.
Drama.
I feel like I feel like there's enough people who are watching WandaVision who didn't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that they might not feel like they can't do it again.
Yeah.
So I feel like WandaVision probably has a wider audience.
And mentioning the wider audience, I love that they yet again allowed Darcy to be the person to catch everybody up to speed with her conversations with Vision about, so she had to kill you, and then he rewound time, and then she watched you die. And it's like all these things that, like, if you only saw the movie one time, you might not be like super up to date with. And so I love the way that like this is a master class for reintroducing people to things that they've already seen.
Yeah.
And can we
Or that they haven't seen. Because I know some people who have not seen all of the Marvel movies who are still watching WandaVision.
Oh yeah, my mom
and
is
I-
one of them.
Right, yeah. And I feel like it's partially because like there are people who just really like Elizabeth Olsen. There are people who just want to I feel like it is like the kind of big TV show that's being talked about right now. So people just want to be in the know, but I feel like they did a very good job of making sure that even if you're not like a big Marvel fan, you have an idea of what's going on.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because a lot of people have
And-
seen the movie only once.
Mhm.
Like back in the day when it was released
Yeah.
like 5 years ago, but they might not remember everything.
You mean you're not clicking watch Age of Ultron after every episode?
That's what Disney Plus wants you to do, Arzu.
Gotta do what Disney wants.
I would love Kat Dennings as Darcy Lewis, just recounting every single Marvel movie ever.
I want her to do it like, in Frozen 2 when Olaf retells Frozen 1. I want her to do that, but for every single Marvel film.
And for once, I'm happy that Louis from Ant-Man didn't do it because poor Vision would be like, what?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I
but to
love
be fair,
it.
Vision's probably the only one who could keep up with them.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's true.
And can I just say, I love like Darcy Vision team up partnership. They're
Was
just
it like an unlikely ally or
like an unlikely animal
So
friendship,
respectful.
Maggie?
no? In the description, in the description of the episode, it said Vision finds like an unlikely ally or
Oh.
something.
A lie, yes.
Oh, am I the only one who searches on YouTube unlikely animal friendships? No?
I think
Okay.
that's
I've seen them.
Thank you, Nicole.
What is that?
That's when the animals become
really confused.
friends.
Is that like
Weird.
those pictures with like a lion and like a deer or something, or like
they're,
hanging out?
Yep.
And they're best friends.
Aww.
I look for sad things on YouTube. Can't relate.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Speaking of
Okay.
sad things, Wanda's pretty sad.
Yes.
Like a Raylo in 2020.
Oh my god! Oh
My
my
hat was right
god!
there.
Yep.
Okay, so Wanda's pretty sad. She's kind of like losing control of the illusion, which we see like things are flashing back from like almond milk to like a black and white milk bottle kind of thing.
Also,
That almond
Missing
milk.
child.
Missing child.
Hmm.
Oh, I didn't even clock that.
yeah.
The children are
Foreshadowing.
missing.
So,
Also,
like-
there's a maze on the back of the cereal box, which I thought was really interesting as well. Which
And the-
early 2000s puzzles on the back of cereal. But
It's also called sugar snaps.
I know.
Yep.
Uh-oh. Too soon. Like
Too soon,
Diana.
too soon, Wanda.
hey, but Florida exists.
Yeah, I can't believe in a perfect world Florida exists, and apparently so does Walmart. She has great value. She's
Oh my god.
Classic
And
Modern Family.
She also has Senka, which I asked my dad about because I'm like vaguely remember him making a joke about it. It's like was very popular back in like the 80s and 70s. Like it was a decaf instant coffee that
So
has
she's-
been around for like 100 years. So it shows like her powers
Wow.
being like the times.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that's before she started noticing things change. Although I guess the boys' video games had
Yeah,
had
we
already
saw-
changed by then.
Mhm.
So
Wanda
guess
trying to
pretty
knock her
cool.
computer over. Jeez.
I'm onto something, and Wanda doesn't like it.
There you go.
But like, so do we think she's losing control, or is this Agnes now trying to kind of make
I
her
think
question
Wanda
things?
has a lot more power than Agnes does, just because of the nature of who Wanda is. I think that the show, even though it may not necessarily delve into it, is a really great way to play with PTSD in the MCU, because she's fully breaking out of a dissociation, and she's also losing complete control of everything that she's set up to try to avoid dealing with her actual trauma.
Right.
Yeah. I do think that the show is like a very interesting look at grief. In a way that like we've had hinted at, I feel like in the MCU before. Like I feel like even in a way that like Spider-Man Far From Home, like the beginning of it like deals with it in a way, but it's like the best show that we've had, both from Wanda but also from Monica as well, which I think is what's really interesting, is where you get this sort of dual look at how people deal with grief and loss.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I agree.
Could it be because she expanded and it's too big? It's too much for her to control?
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
it might be the reason, because she made it the cover the area she's covering is larger, so maybe
A lot
she's
more people.
kind of juggling a lot
Yeah.
of different
All the
things.
sword people.
It
I
reminds me
also-
of that. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, it reminds me of that TikTok sound that I accidentally created a false reality. Like every single time.
I think about it often. Yep. I mean, Wanda is essentially the queen of all the like teenage girls on TikTok who try to reality shift.
I talked about this last week. I
Still can't believe that's real.
Oh,
That was
Um,
something.
But I do think, I also wonder, like, it feels like Wanda's powers have always been tied into her emotions somewhat. And so I wonder if it's just that, we're seeing her in a more vulnerable place. And so her powers are
and
fritzing.
Diana is doing a really good point with Hayward. I mean, we know he's kind of sus from the beginning.
yeah, trust
He
no white man.
wants- Yes, but the way he expressed to Monica in the last episode, saying like, you don't know what it was like the last 5 years. And it's interesting because also the grief can be also translated into, hey, I want to do this no matter what happens, and like getting some kind of payback.
It's also,
maybe?
anger. Anger is a stage
Anger.
of grief.
Yes.
He could be on that stage. And like you were saying, like, yeah, Wanda's powers are very tied to her emotions. Like, think about when she was standing up to Thanos. And like in both
I don't know
Infinity
who-
War and Endgame, that's when we saw her the most powerful, and that's when she was most emotional. Think about when she lost Pietro in Age of Ultron.
Oh,
She
yeah.
literally defeated Ultron after that when no one else could.
Yes.
She took his freaking heart out. Jeez.
Don't mess with Wanda.
Do not mess with Wanda.
Yes.
Don't we all?
That's
all
what
Hawkeye's
sent her
fault.
over the edge.
Yes.
We're
Blame
also grieving
Hawkeye.
that.
Blame
You
Hawkeye.
had one job.
he saw her at the funeral and was like, "Yeah, it's sad. Everyone's gone. Bye.
Going back to the farm. Bye.
Bye."
Did y'all
Don't
see
write,
that
don't call.
tweet? Did y'all see that tweet that was like Wanda and Bucky and
Yes, the one
Sam at
that-
the funeral? And it was like people who should have gotten therapy but just got TV shows because Seb Stan put it on his Instagram story.
I was like, Seb memes. He goes hard with his memes.
He really
But
does.
I really love this idea that like we see both of them in couples therapy, and
Pretty much.
the trailer for that. And so I love that like
Yep.
Marvel's like, hey, our characters may be mentally unstable in the movies, but we're gonna fix them on TV.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
it
really
really
do
gives a
feel like
chance.
Time.
Marvel's really saying, go to therapy.
Go to therapy, guys.
Hey,
We love
Marvel
that.
fans, go to therapy.
Good.
Don't create false realities for yourself and dream shift on TikTok. Go to therapy.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh my
Stop
goodness.
reminding me of that.
Oh my.
So somebody else we have currently going through grief, but perhaps a little bit further ahead of Wanda is Monica, who
Yeah.
goes through into the hex again, only this time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yes. We have
So are we going to see more of that here? Like, are we going to see her fully realize this, or is this like a Captain Marvel 2 thing? I'm kind of hoping to see it now, but that's just because I'm greedy and I want it now.
I think it's gonna be
Yes.
a Captain Marvel 2 thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
just wanna
she's
know-
gonna do something, right? She's gonna at least knock fake Pietro into a wall.
Like, they can't
I mean,
not
she
pay
doesn't-
this off, right?
Yeah, there has to be some
Somehow.
payoff with it.
Yeah.
I know we've seen in the trailers that it looks like Wanda and Vision team up to go face something together. So maybe Monica helps them.
Mm-hmm.
I love that Wanda looked genuinely super shocked when Marvel landed.
Oh
freaking
yeah,
Marvel landed.
superhero
With the
landing.
hand.
Yep.
Well, we don't talk about that.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. Like if she's like realizing that maybe people are getting powers from what she's created.
Give Darcy powers. 2021.
Darcy powers.
Yes. And it was
Please.
interesting when she was going inside the hex and all the voices that she was hearing.
She heard her mom. She heard
mom,
Carol. She heard herself.
Fury. Yes.
You know what I love? I love when the heroes get powers while doing something heroic.
Yes.
It's just like the Captain Marvel moment, the Steve Rogers volunteering for this. They were already heroes to begin with, and then they get that power to continue being heroic.
Her whole like
was
run
fantastic.
into the hex was so like she knew what she had to do. She knows that she has. And the thing that I like about her motivations is that it's not like I have to stop this bad person. I have to like do something. She's like, I understand her grief. I am the only person that can help her.
She
And
is
she
like, let's go
knows.
to grief counseling together.
And she knows that this is the solution, and she acknowledges that Hayward wants to burn the town to the
Yeah,
ground.
he's willing to sacrifice everyone
Yes.
Because he
to get to
is
Vision.
a DICK.
Yeah, but this line, don't let him make you the villain.
Oh,
Yep.
Own
Yep.
your own narrative. Don't let somebody else own it for you.
And it just breaks me that Wanda thinks she is the villain.
oh my
Yeah.
God! Like maybe.
And it's because of Agatha.
Yeah.
Agatha has consistently ensured that she feels like the villain, killing Sparky. All the little things that she's done along the way to manipulate the situation has been to make her feel like the bad person. Even the Vision stuff. She gave Vision the information that made him go to try to leave.
Mhm.
And so that is just furthering Wanda's spiral, essentially, and separating the two of them, because I think she's afraid that she's going to wake up from whatever disillusionment she's put her under.
That's like
Even
a whole other
sending-
level of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say, even sending like the fake Pietro was like this reminder to Wanda of
Yes.
like what she has lost.
Yeah,
she
because
does
she did.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that, like he says in the last episode, is I wouldn't want to be reminded of the past either. So, did she send this version of Pietro so she isn't too overcome with grief or something like that? Like, why recast him?
Maybe he doesn't want to be reminded of Dark Phoenix. Maybe no, I'm joking.
Did she pull? Is this guy Peter Maximoff from the
I think
X-Men
it's
universe?
Peter. I
think it's
genuinely
Peter.
believe this, Peter. I don't think it's fake. I think that Agatha's really strong in the comics, so it's not unsurprising that she would potentially pull somebody in from a multiverse. And especially with like the potential of that being the Darkhold, like we know what the Darkhold's able to do, we know what Nexus is able to do, and there's all of these little like we know what Nexus beings are. We are aware of this. Like there is this definite potential that she's feeding off of Wanda's powers and being able to expand on whatever evil, nefarious plans she has. Like there's more to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities that are opened with what Agatha is doing.
Maggie is definitely right.
Thanks, Brett.
That's not your like side account, Maggie, is it?
It's not.
Maggie's there like, so right.
Yeah, and Tyrion's right. Like Hayward is willing to like kill those 3,000 his own sword people too now.
Yep.
Yeah.
What
She's no white man.
Well, what I'm wondering about Hayward now that Diana brought up the grief point is if he is also, in his anger stage of grief, and his whole view is if I don't get my lost people back, it's not fair for you to get it. And if I can't have it, no one can.
Or
So
someone has to pay.
Someone has to pay for what happened.
Exactly.
We can't all get our lost people back, so...
But let's not forget, he wants to create a super power. He wants to use him as a weapon.
Yes.
And he is the little pinhead who said that was against Vision's will, and yet he was doing it for 5 years.
Well, I'm not here advocating for like a Hayward redemption arc, but
like he should go to therapy instead of being a pinhead.
he should.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone should go to therapy.
Very nice.
Everyone. Comic book therapy for everyone.
Speaking of other... Oh, go ahead.
No, go
Is
ahead.
it about Hayward? Because I don't want to change the subject.
No, it's about Darcy. Go ahead.
Okay. Speaking of other characters, I want to know what people think about Dottie. I was really intrigued by her character the first time she was introduced, and then we saw that glimpse of her in, I have it in my notes, Now in Color. When the lights go out, it goes to her and her husband, and then we saw her briefly again today. Do you have any theories about who she could be? Because I have a theory.
I like your
I've got
theory,
a
Maggie.
theory. It could be Bonnie's, which is ridiculous.
I think she just like was made an antagonist, so then like maybe Wanda becomes more friendly with Agnes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a red herring.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was a red herring.
So it's like a
And
way for them to bond.
Did
I
she
think
get cast?
No, actually, we didn't get her real name.
Yeah, that's true.
But it was before. It was because Darcy and Agent Wu, had tried to contact Wanda via the radio. So
Yeah.
they kind of interrupted looking for the names. Like, and we didn't had a glimpse of the wall after that.
So I had a theory. I'm just going to keep saying that for anybody who watches Buffy because she's Anya. But is it possible that she is another character from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, aka the comics, that could be so there's like this question of who's in witness protection. So is Agatha the one that was in witness protection, or was she there trying to find the person who was in witness protection? Is it possible? Charlie, who's in the comments, knows that I was proposing this theory earlier this morning as well. But is it possible that she's Clea? Could she be? Because we have this Doctor Strange movie coming up. Clea's involved with the multiverse as well. She's his girlfriend in some versions. She's blonde. We know that in the past, Marvel wanted Charlize Theron to play her. That was like one of the big rumors, like 4 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
And she turned the role down. Could she be a lead up to that? Could she have been hiding out in Westview? I mean,
It would be
Maybe.
possible. Yeah.
It would be interesting. So we know they're doing
Yeah.
more with Doctor Strange, but then I've also seen theories that she could be somebody like Emma Frost.
Mhm.
And that's purely just because she's blonde and
She has some
recognizable. I think that's the thing that I keep going back to. She's like a very recognizable actor.
Mhm.
Like she's not just like a
Right.
random person. I feel like if they didn't want her to be someone, they would have cast some Atlanta actor to just be this random Dottie.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But she feels like she should be somebody. Theories?
Yeah.
See, I'd heard the Emma Frost theory a couple times. I've not heard Clea. I think
Mhm.
that's my favorite one. Only thing that might make me slightly doubt whether or not they do it is you would almost assume that if they want her to be kind of the female lead for future Doctor Strange installments, that they might try to go with someone a little more A-list, but you never know.
Yeah, that's like the one thing that I remember seeing people theorizing with Emma Frost, that even Emma Frost,
Mhm.
why aren't they going for an A-list? But maybe A-list people haven't wanted that role. And I mean, Emma's great. She's, I mean, very recognizable.
Mhm.
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 I agree.
Mhm.
But
I guess it's a question of what you think they're gonna try to
Do.
address first, like multiverse, which seems likely because of Doctor Strange, or are they gonna bring in the X-Men? So
Mhm.
just I would
Well,
be
do
inclined
we-
to go with Clea. That's probably next.
So I know
would
that
think-
the theory going around that the possibility that the hex is actually mutating people, right? Maybe not
Yeah.
everyone who's in it, but certain people who maybe already have something in
Some-
their DNA,
Like a
right?
recessive
Dormant, like a
gene.
dormant, yeah.
Similar
Yeah.
to the way that the Maximoff twins were awakened in the MCU, right? So
Yeah.
if it was Emma, if she's just someone who's in witness protection and then she gains her psychic powers, you could technically still do that in the MCU. Because there's no rules. It's all remix territory.
Yeah.
some food for thought.
Yeah.
Yes. Good.
Definitely.
No, I
Definitely.
love it.
What do you guys think of Darcy's very short alternative personality?
Oh my god.
I'm
Why
ordering
wasn't
the
she a
lobster.
waitress? Why
She
was she
wanted
not
the
a
lobster,
waitress?
which I approve.
I love that scene where he's like, "You know,
Oh,
Shared
yeah.
blood.
Die.
we shared a look."
Oh.
I mean, I would die for any version of her. So
Same, same.
I know.
Oh yeah, people are liking your robes. Hoping.
Hey,
Yeah.
Elsa's robe too.
Oh yeah,
This is
Vince?
true.
yeah,
Okay.
I am.
My
Every-
twin.
I'm
Yeah.
in.
The four of you guys are.
This
Yeah.
is not just my depressive outfit.
Yeah.
This was cosplay tonight.
Actually, I was wearing a robe earlier. I thought
I live in Florida. There's no need for robes.
yeah. I would-
Fair enough.
Good.
Robe on the inside.
Robe on the inside. My heart.
Yeah.
Your
But-
heart's in a little flannel robe.
Can we talk about the commercial?
Yes.
Yes.
So weird.
Isn't
I
like
was-
side like murder?
I know, side, promo side, and what it says that will anchor you back to reality or the reality of your choice is kind of like, wait a minute. Like Maggie already mentioned, it could be the Nexus, like indicating Wanda is a Nexus being or the Nexus of all realities.
Have we seen all 6 stones yet?
We saw 5.
Could this not be the reality one?
Yeah, because I mean, they talk about create your own reality.
Yeah, like your own
Yeah.
reality. And then like it was
Yeah.
kind of like red and wavy. Like I don't remember if the reality stone was the same thing as the whatever it was called
the
from Thor the
ether.
Dark World.
The ether.
The ether, thank you. I don't remember if that's the same thing as the reality,
Reality
stone.
stone is red.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
so it's the same
one.
thing. So
Yeah.
it was kind of doing that during the commercial. So I thought maybe that was it. But then if we'd seen
Yeah.
all the stones already, maybe not. So
No, it totally could be because the one we have thought it was the Lagos, the wipes, the liquid was red.
Yeah.
So that's why we implied that it totally could be as well because it's talking about reality and what it says that hey, you can. The world doesn't revolve around you, or it does it. Like,
Mhm.
well, it can.
Or can you change the reality where you didn't accidentally kill like 10 civilians?
I know.
Wasn't the Nexus network in the Age of Ultron? Wasn't that the network that
Or
spread
Jarvis?
I know
Yeah.
words. It does mean kill.
Nice.
with like you just said with Jarvis? And then in the comics, Scarlet Witch is a Nexus being.
Yeah.
So
Right.
So it could be maybe, and we know that stuff in the comics doesn't translate in like 100%, but
Yeah.
it could definitely be like a wink that,
Kind of wink at it. Yeah.
there's so many winks, guys.
It's all
Too
winks.
much.
I know. But yeah, and it's from the comics, it says that the Nexus being has the ability to affect probability and thus the future, thereby.
Joined us. Check the
The what?
comment.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh dear.
Okay.
okay.
No.
Probably.
We really like your TV show.
Please don't hurt us.
We're big fans.
Yeah,
We're big
This
fans.
is gonna be a gas.
That actually really freaks me out, y'all.
Oh dear.
After Wanda's trying to keep Ben from joining us.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
Yeah.
Wanda knocked over the computer. Wanda knocked over Maggie's thing, and suddenly Wanda pops up.
Yeah.
Well, if she's going to show up, she needs to come on camera so you can at least monetize on it. It's just not fair.
Speaking
Oh,
of Wanda, I just really love this line. Vision is made of vibranium. They literally inherited tough skin. When she like traumatized her two 10-year-olds.
I know.
It was
Like,
so
what?
good. This was such a Claire moment. Like, if anybody loves
Absolutely.
Modern Family, you're welcome, Wanda.
You're welcome, Wanda.
Thank you, Wanda.
Never a dull moment. I love the Modern Family meets like Parks and Rec vibes of this
Yep.
episode. It gave me life. Candace, is this you?
Me.
My hands
my
are up
God.
here.
I do not have the energy to make another
Lord.
count.
Oh my gosh.
I am so tired.
It's like the Baby Yoda hack all over again.
I know. It's just turning
Yeah.
around.
But yeah, I do love the Claire Dunphy Modern Family energy. Also, I like after that talk, like Wanda's definitely. I mean, she's getting Mom of the Year, right? Like,
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love her whole like
Mom
everything
is-
is meaningless.
It's like,
She's like,
yeah.
you'll figure it
Right.
out.
Me in 2021.
Wanda is a quarantine mood. Like,
Yeah. Definitely.
She's sitting there going, 1 day of quarantine as punishment. I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
staring 1 year in the face, Wanda. Like,
same,
Yeah, I'm still.
same.
I'm not gonna say anything about the children, so
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I've got plenty to say about the children, but I'm trying to behave myself.
I am
Oh.
just thinking from a marketing standpoint, they're doing Young Avengers eventually.
Mhm.
Wiccan and Speed need to be there. Also, one of the Russo brothers mentioned there will be a gay character, a major
There's
one in
two.
the future.
both of the twins are gay.
Exactly. So-
One's gay, one's bisexual.
Yeah, but so they mentioned queer
That's weird.
character.
Yeah.
And first when I saw that interview, I'm like, I hope he's not talking about his stupid cameo in Endgame. Because that does not count.
Huh?
Maggie!
What?
He plays that like one character.
in like group
Oh,
therapy, he was like, I was on a date with a
yeah.
guy. I'm like, this
I
does
was
not
like,
count.
what?
That does not count for diversity.
You tried.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Point for effort.
No point, Joe. No,
No
points.
point.
Give
Negative points. Negative points.
Yeah.
So yeah, the fact that they hinted at that, and they have Haley, and they cast someone new as Scott's daughter,
That's
the girl from Freaky Friday and Pokemon
So good.
Detective,
Mhm.
whatever.
And they
Pokemon
have
Detective.
They have
they
America
have Miss
Chavez
Marvel
coming.
too. Which
Yeah,
I
they
don't
have
know if
Miss
she's saying
Marvel
like
coming
a-
up. So yeah,
Mhm.
we got Young Avengers coming, and I think Wiccan and Speed would be very good. So I think they're going to age up again. I think they're going to be teens
Yes.
by the end of the show.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
so glad
yes.
you're also positive on this because between like Senior Scratchy being really sketch and then the bugs and the vibe overall, I'm like, if I have to see
Sinister.
two like dismembered children
Hey, I'm just saying.
at
we
7
saw a
o'clock in the morning,
skeleton
I just know
last
that I
week.
can handle that.
We saw a
What?
skeleton of a child last week. I'm
That's
just
the
saying.
thing. I'm like, there's nothing they weren't like. Are these kids dead? Because it was such a horror movie vibe when she was looking for them in the basement, like just for that like
Mhm.
I know.
2 minutes. That
Are they the
I was,
flies?
I was genuinely concerned something had happened to them and we were gonna have to see it.
Oh.
I would have felt so bad for Wanda if she has to see her children dead.
I mean, I would feel bad for the children if they ended up dead.
I feel worse for Wanda because everyone she loves dies.
Okay,
It's
but
true,
okay.
but also get out of bed and don't let the neighbor take your kids.
Also,
next
in the
door.
comics,
Fair.
Agatha used to babysit the kids.
Yes.
There we
Oh,
go.
And Joe Gabba Gabba. Yeah.
Thank you, Wanda. Thank you for letting
Yes.
me know what happened.
You
I
heard it
accept
here
that.
first.
so
Nope, that's canon
Agatha
now.
Harkness, she babysits the twins in one of the versions. But when like Wanda's out doing Avenger stuff, and when she's doing big Avenger stuff, the twins literally just blink out of existence because they're just like in her imagination.
Yeah, that's what happens, and then it's one of the reasons why she kind of loses.
Well, there you go.
There you go. WandaVision said gay rights.
I said about freaking time.
I mean, yeah.
Main characters, not cameos, Disney.
Yes, does not count. Not that you can just cut out in China. Said it here. 'Cause that's what I know.
Speaking of what is it, Yo Gabba Gabba? Was anybody else like slightly startled to see that show being the show? Because the children are so.
They're kind of
Yeah,
Too
they're
old
too
for
old
that
for that.
show, right?
for
But
that
I thought
shit.
it was like a joke. Like Agnes is like, oh, I don't know what kids watch, you know.
I was
That's
also
what I thought
like
until the horror movie vibe.
Yo Gabba Gabba is terrifying, so it fit well.
truly terrifying. I was like,
So
no,
scary.
we're not doing that.
So scary. I actually like flinched whenever I saw it.
That was the most terrifying part of the episode, honestly. That and the rabbit for me, because we all know that I have leporophobia.
This is the most.
Oh, Snooper's gonna snoop.
I have so many things to say, but I'll
Okay.
save it for after.
We'll save it. We'll save it. Okay.
Yeah.
So do we think that's actually Peter? Like, have we come to a consensus with that? Because does that extra scene feel like
I
Peter?
just don't think it is myself. I think it's some kind of a manifestation, or maybe it is the other character that Agnes is working with in disguise. Like, I don't know. I just
Maybe
don't think it's Peter.
it's Peter under control of Agnes.
It could be.
Agatha.
So
Yeah.
I
that
think it's
outfit
Peter.
felt like Peter?
Yeah, I think it's Peter, but I have mentioned my crack theory that I would love him to be someone that we know that loves impersonating people before.
Uh-huh.
I will lose it.
I would lose it if it's
Lose it.
the god of mischief himself, but
Yeah.
it's not going to happen, but I would love that.
There's still a strong possibility. We've got the Loki series coming up, and we know he's been gallivanting through time with Tesseract. He could be doing whatever he wants.
I was gonna say like initially that like Loki wouldn't because he'd kind of come around, but the Loki we have now,
No, he's
Hasn't.
post Avengers.
it's post Avengers Loki. It's not post Ragnarok Loki.
He's
So
pure chaos. Just keep
pure
him away from
chaos and I'm
horses.
here
Keep him
for
away
Yeah.
from
it.
horses.
I can't.
Can I just say that like Marvel has some truly strange storylines.
Oh,
I
so
know.
William saying the twist was kind of weak. I honestly don't think this is the twist.
No, I think it's the
Yeah.
misdirect.
I think we
Yeah.
still got 2
Misdirection.
whole episodes left, and yes, there was a rumor that the last 3 episodes were going to be an hour long, but I think the final episode will be an hour long because it's supposed to be 6.5 hours of content. They said
Whoa.
no, total. So I think
Just a
in-
6 hour finale.
just 6 hours. I'll take 6 hours.
That's fine.
I mean,
Wow. I
We
love it.
literally watched just like, you know, but yeah. It's not the twist. It's not the twist. Just like Wanda being in charge. It's
No,
not.
it's way
Direction.
too easy.
One of the
Yeah.
first things they teach you in online close-up magic. Agent Wu would tell you.
Her name was Agatha. Agnes.
All
I mean,
along.
she had the witch thing brooch. It was.
It's very on the nose.
I also
love-
feel like just calling it Agatha all along feels like a clue that like this was the twist that we were supposed to guess. You know what I mean? Like the whole all along. Like it's
Like,
only
oh, well, that's
right.
it.
It's been sitting there in front of you this whole time.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
so schmaltzy and monsters.
I'm
Like,
not
it's
supposed
just
to-
to make you think, like, hey, I figured it out. So that the
Mhm.
last 2 episodes can do whatever it is that I think the series is wrapping up towards.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that can't be the big twist because we've got 2 more episodes.
And
Oh,
we have
yeah.
to build up to Doctor Strange because something
Yeah.
that Kevin Feige actually said was this like starts Doctor Strange in the multiverse of madness.
Yes.
Do we think there's going to be like an overlap, like the last 5 minutes of this or the first 5 minutes of Doctor Strange?
That's
I
why
mean-
I really want it to be Clea too, because I'm like,
Yeah,
they could do
I would love it to be
post-credit
Clea.
scene. They could do this
That would be
post-credit scene with
fantastic.
like him showing up and being like, "So this is where you've been hiding."
Okay, yeah, the
Oh, yeah.
song is by the Lopez's from Frozen,
Mhm.
and that's Catherine singing too.
And it sounds
Really?
like the Munsters, which
Yeah.
I love so much.
I
I mentioned
know.
it. I put it in
And-
my review this morning. It sounded so Munstery. It just made me so happy.
Also, justice for Sparky.
Yes,
Yeah.
the main question.
Yeah.
I can
Who is going
excuse-
to avenge Sparky?
Manipulating
Also,
one of them
that-
by each other.
That clip when she's singing the credits, the Agatha all along. I mean, kudos to Catherine Hahn because I mean, she microseconds she's changed from this like wicked twister, like she's manipulating and then like, oh yeah, I'm your goofy neighbor. Like, wow, like seriously.
Yeah, there's no scenery that she didn't chew up. Like that's full Catherine Hahn unbridled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wanda says, "Was the show actually Agatha all along?
Hey,
This
I'm just
entire
saying,
time?"
she was the one in the very first episode that was inside the house with
Mhm.
Wanda and Vision, while everybody else was on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
It's
Justice for
reverse.
Sparky.
Agatha's
Hashtag
like,
Agatha
Agatha's
is
so
over.
good.
Agatha's
Party.
canceled.
Agatha's canceled. Yeah. Justice for Sparky.
Yes.
Yeah,
Did
Justice
any-
for
so-
Sparky.
think when you went, like, if anybody went back to rewatch after we knew that it was Agatha all along,
Yeah.
did anybody else think that the interviewer that's talking to Wanda and she's like, "You're not supposed to talk,"
Mhm.
sounded like a voice modulated Catherine Hahn? Because I
yes.
didn't really
I
think so.
think it is. Yeah.
It sounded like a man's voice.
Yeah, certainly,
that-
man.
Yeah.
It sounded like Catherine Hahn's cadence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I almost thought like it was Catherine Hahn talking and they just like played with it to make it sound like a man.
Yeah.
What did you guys
Especially
think
knowing
of,
now that she's behind the camera.
Yeah.
what did you
Which
guys
we
think of
had a
like
theory, like all along that it was gonna be Ralph behind the camera or something, and now we have
But who's filming Agatha, Maggie?
Exactly.
It's Ralph.
Ralph!
Ralph.
Or
It
she's
was
just
Ralph
filming
all
it now.
along.
And also all these like small quotes like what she says. Oh, Ralph says I like to sugarcoat everything, like
Mhm.
Hansel and Gretel. Some like a lot of
yeah, she's
Sugar
still
Coat,
like
yeah.
referencing Ralph. Which that's a good question because talking with people today about the rabbit. I hate that I had to talk about a rabbit, but Senior Scratch in the comics is her son,
Nicholas.
Scratch. So do we think that's her son?
Has she mentioned a son before? No.
No.
They've never
But she-
mentioned kids.
Nessa on Twitter was saying, "What if the missing child is her son?"
Her son, yeah.
Oh.
And then that
Ooh.
it's all for the like what was it? For the kid, for the children, for the
Yeah.
children,
For
for
the
the
children.
children.
What if she made a deal with someone to get her son back? Because Agatha is an ally.
She's not
To-
bad.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's my thing. Is like
Who
she's-
normally-
Do you think we'll see
does
her origin
deals.
story? Like in flashbacks, or do you think it'll be all just like
I think it'll focus on Wanda and Vision, but we'll see Wanda with Agatha before
If
the
we're
town was created.
if we're still following the TV show format, and now I don't know if we are because we're pretty much caught up to present day. But if we do start following the TV show format, if they want to give us Agatha's backstory, they haven't explored the clip show yet.
Mm.
So that could be a way that they do. I know clip show stuff you've seen already, but
Sometimes it's not like Community. Community does a really good job of that, where they make new clips.
you know what?
Oh, there you go.
We could do the clip show because we know we're most likely going to see the opposite side of what we saw, the security footage of them watching Wanda break in, because we've seen the trailers where it looks like she's breaking into Sword. So we're going to probably see those probably next week, because that makes more sense than the finale.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're going to see
Yeah,
her
we-
side of this.
Yeah, we see like the upper
next week
left.
is the clip show.
Yeah, we see the
Yeah.
upper left corner. We see Wanda straight on in a medium
Yeah.
shot in the trailer. So
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then there was that behind the scene picture that somebody posted of the broken glass and all of
Oh
that.
yeah.
oh yeah,
Right.
she said, "What kid did you think she bit once?"
Those classic witch stories and
I
tales.
say, Mr.
Hansel and
Scratch
Gretel.
bit me. Mr. Scratch bit
And
me.
all scratched, like it's a reference to the devil and the moles as well.
Yeah, the
Oh,
mole
I have a
on her
mole.
back. I was like, oh, it's a witch's mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Join the club.
So yeah, a lot of mentions, a lot of references.
I gotta.
Oh.
I feel that.
Oh,
I-
yes.
He was exuding some big Phil Dunphy.
Oh,
Like,
I
And some
love-
Jim from The Office
Yeah.
and Ben
Oh my
from
God.
Parks and Rec.
Oh,
But-
so much Ben.
And Vision when they were getting away in the car, running from the circus guy, and I'm sorry, or Agent Double Book, like he was so kind. It's like, dude, just
He's trying to give a canon explanation for where they're going.
Yeah.
no, he's so cute. I love it.
I loved it.
So now that Monica's in the Hex, Darcy's in the Hex, is Jimmy next? Is Jimmy Woo going as
I
well?
want him to go into the Hex just so that he can maybe get some more screen time. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just want to see Jimmy Woo all the time.
He just wants to go with it and
Magic.
find his 2 new best friends.
His two girlfriends.
His two girlfriends.
That
Ship
true
everything.
is so important.
Yeah.
Everybody's got two hands. I'm just saying.
This throuple has been broken up long enough, and Jimmy Woo needs to go into the Hex
I know.
Reunite the
and
throuple.
find his ladies.
I know.
Oh.
He wanted
Oh.
friends, remember, from
Mhm.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, she likes how her husband looked.
Oh,
You know he was pissed about you, Wanda, right?
I know.
Wanda, have you considered going to therapy yet? Like actual therapy and not
Actual therapy instead
There's
of
needs
not a
couple,
reality.
need family, need like solo
Personal?
therapy too, personal. Oh, just a little shout out. This is Stanley's birthday.
Aww.
I would like if they do that from now on with like instead of like do not recreate him. Please do not recreate him
no.
No.
digitally. Do little things, Easter eggs like that. Put his name somewhere. Or put
we
his
got the
birthday.
Stan call out earlier in the season.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I-
like that.
I do agree with William. The moral of this episode, Catherine Hans deserves an Emmy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so glad she's like got her time to shine because she's only been like, you know,
Yes.
in a few scenes here and there, and she just owned
Yeah.
it when she's like, it's me.
Okay, speaking of awards, though, like, I will be so mad if the production design on this show does not get recognized because the amount of times that I was like, the production, like the circus, but also like the house and how it's changed every episode, like, it's so incredible.
Chef.
Yeah,
Kiss.
the backwards engineering that it took to build the house set because it doesn't really change the layout, and yet it looks like every one of the houses that they're aping on. So they had to come up with a design format that they could change just a couple things set dressing wise so that it read as Malcolm in the Middle or the Dick Van Dyke house without changing the exact layout.
Yeah.
And like that's
Right.
just brilliant.
That was insane.
Oh, that was
Love it.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, with the staircase like changed every time
Oh no.
in a way. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Fantastic. And yeah, we want also Vision to meet Jimmy. And he wants friends too, so
Yeah.
Just get along, I think.
Yes.
Jimmy is sus. No, he's not, William.
no, who said
No.
that?
he's just
William.
old fashioned. He was like that during Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's
Yeah,
all he's
he's
been
This
like.
is weird.
He
He's not
wanted to be
sus.
friends with
He's a
Scotland.
nerd.
Yeah.
Are you saying nerds are weird?
No, the man of my heart, Jimmy, is not sus.
No.
The only one sus is Hayward.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
White men we don't
Yes.
trust.
White men in
Goodness,
suits.
correct.
Vision, Jimmy, Monica,
Older
and Darcy.
white men
yes.
in suits.
That is the team up that I want,
Yes.
in fact.
Exactly.
That's all we need.
It's
they're
the
gonna
four
team
of
up.
them.
And they're going to get Wanda some therapy.
Yeah, they're gonna do an intervention. They're gonna be like, Wanda,
Yes, I would love that.
we love you.
Please.
We big fan of your show, but I need
Yeah,
you.
and we agree. Hawkeye had a terrible haircut.
Don't you
We
love
know, we
how,
know it was awful.
how Darcy like admitted she's like, I wanted to like guest star on the show, but like
But this is terrible.
Relatable.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like it wasn't like as painful for her as it was for like Norm or how
Oh, yeah.
Agnes acted. Like
Yeah.
because she just wasn't there long enough to like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had only been a few hours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Brad. If Quicksilver gets the sweet dream of this song
Get the sweet
moment from
dreams
the
moment.
X-Men, of the
See, but honestly, I know
Time in a
people would
bottle.
love it. I've seen it twice, and I don't need it in my Wanda show. Like,
Yeah, it's not about him.
I agree.
It's not about him.
like he needs to take his pill. Like, it's not about him. It's not revolving around him.
I can't handle the Evan Peters content.
Yeah, it's about Wanda. That would be nice.
So now kind of looking forward. We've all heard this like mysterious actor that's supposed to appear that Paul Bettany's really excited about. We know it's a guy,
Mhm.
but who do we think it is?
I'm not saying that name again.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Want to give it a try?
His last name's Cumberbatch. There we go.
There you go. There you go.
I still have my money on Gandalf. I mean, Ian McKellen. Gandalf.
It's not even Ian McKellen, it's Gandalf.
It's just Gandalf. You shall not pass.
But Gandalf the Grey or Gandalf the White?
Yes.
Good question.
White because he has better hair.
Yes.
Okay.
But okay, so now after the Monica scene where she becomes like Photon, like, and we hear Fury's voice, that makes me think Samuel L. Jackson. While Paul has been in 3 movies with him, he has not had a scene with him.
A scene.
But he's hung out with him, and that's where I'm like, if you, I would you be that excited about somebody if you have technically like hung out with them for? Like,
If you hung out with him
Yes,
versus
but it's
working with
Samuel
him.
L. Jackson.
Also,
Yeah, but
like,
versus working.
He's probably really excited about like I'm not saying it is Samuel L. Jackson, but if it is, like he's excited about getting to like, do a scene with him.
Yeah.
but also,
Maybe
like,
that could be.
source me here, but did he not say that it was a character that hasn't been introduced into the MCU yet in
That's
that same
what
interview?
I thought.
But people have been implying a lot about quotes, so he's been taking them out of context.
But
So
he's
I-
done follow-up interviews with people since then. So there's a couple new quotes floating around, which is where the new confirming that it is a man.
There's one in particular that I'm not necessarily going to say here just in case people don't want to be spoiled, but Joanna Robinson wrote her article for Vanity Fair this morning.
Yes,
I
she did.
honestly think that she's got it on the nose to the
I do
point
too.
where I don't want to say it because I think it is actually who it is.
I do too. That's the one that I'm like,
And is that
just-
someone we haven't seen before in the MCU?
Yes, it'd be someone
Okay.
who's never appeared in the MCU but has
Okay.
said a couple times that they're open to it. It's a major name.
it's okay. So if anyone wants to know, it's somebody that he has wanted to work with since he was a child.
Mm-hmm.
And this, you would probably never in a million years guess that this actor, this hugely famous, hugely popular, hugely successful for a very long time, would want to be in a Marvel movie. And yet they have had discussions, and we know they have had discussions in the past because they are a fan of Marvel and they are huge. And I know that Diana knows, but huge.
I'll find it later.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to know or not. I don't know if I want to know.
I want to know, but I'll find it later.
Someone who has played devil's advocate before. So
Yeah, got it. I saw the article. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Naggy!
No.
I mean, that was a broadcast, is what that was.
I didn't want to know.
Look, I just have to say, when I saw that reference, I didn't get it. So that's why I was like,
I was a child of the 90s. I saw that
was
movie on the
I,
Blockbuster all the time.
I haven't even seen that movie.
I haven't seen it either, but I listened to the How
I
Did
saw
This
the-
Get Made on it.
I saw the article. No, I know, and I.
Okay, now the
That'd
mommy
be
spoiled me
amazing.
just because she gets
That
spoiled.
would
She
be
got to spoil
fantastic.
everybody
to
else.
be honest, it was like a big thread on Twitter that was like viral today. So it's a miracle you didn't see it because it was not a tagged thread. It's just a theory.
Could be wrong.
Okay, so
Okay.
on that chipper note, we have heard that the finale is supposed to be extremely sad but epic, but mostly sad. Do we think we're losing Vision?
No.
Because
Yeah.
he's not announced for Doctor Strange. Why
This
would
will be
Wanda
all
be
of us.
without him?
This will be all of us.
Yeah. She's gonna renounce her wish then.
I can't. I don't want to lose him again. Like,
How many times
truly.
I know.
must we lose him?
But maybe
Okay,
if,
tell Candace to look over the
Sh-
picture.
but maybe if Shuri came back.
Do it.
Do what?
Don't you do it, Candace.
What am I doing?
No.
Never mind.
I mean, if Shuri
Anything.
came back with after the plague, she kept her Vision's consciousness.
In her
Yeah.
lab.
Okay,
And
what
Wakanda.
if there is a happy ending and Vision and the kids, they're all fine, but like Wanda's like, oh, I'm out of control, and Doctor Strange is like, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna take you to magic therapy. And she's like, bye kids, bye Vision.
I'll take it.
It will
I'll
be
take
fine,
it.
yeah. It will be sad because okay, they're gonna be apart from each other, but I can take it.
Yeah.
I
still
can't.
firmly believe that she's going to end up on ice at the end of it, so that we can lead into Multiverse of Madness. I think Doctor Strange is going to come in, put her on some kind of timeout, and then that's the end of that.
Have
I
her
don't
falling for 30 minutes? No.
Like in carbonite.
That
frozen
would
in
really make her
carbonite.
happy.
That was my thought.
When he said put her on ice, I'm like, she's gonna die?
No.
Same.
Sorry.
That's how I went. I'm like, no.
I mean more in like a TV production way and not a mobster way.
I mean,
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I think since I'm actually okay with Vision being gone because it's been years. So since he actually died, and we saw it twice already.
Has it been years? Has it been years? Because I have been grieving every single day since
it's
that.
been less than 3 years.
3 years. Inventing
Last year
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
count. Last year
2000.
doesn't count. It has
Yeah,
been 9 days.
It's been 3 years, over 3
It's
years.
been 9 days since the snap when we all came back.
Yeah.
The
Right.
children you can't do that with children. That would mess me up. That would mess me up hard.
I think maybe they're gonna be apart, like in the comics, that they're gonna be still alive but apart from Wanda,
Yeah, apart
maybe.
from her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to Avenger babysitting, like daycare.
I just need Monica to smuggle them out. She'd be a good foster mom for them in the
Oh
meantime.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Monica, Darcy, and Jimmy can raise them while Wanda's
There you
getting
go.
I'm here
her
for
therapy.
that. I would watch that show.
All of them trying to raise 2 little mutants.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Hijinks. The hijinks. And then Monica and the kids trying to learn their powers. That would be cute.
Mhm.
Oh my god. I want that, but in a like 3 Men and a Baby kind of way. Like,
Yeah.
like I want just like light comedy, them trying to raise 2 mutant children.
And then there's like Zoom calls that are in between like Doctor Strange scenes that are like, Wanda's like, how you guys doing? Did you guys do your homework? And like you see like some terrifying monster in the background. It's like, it's
Don't worry.
fine.
It's
It's
fine.
fine.
Oh god, Wanda's on supervised visitations.
Oh, no.
Like Vision's not going to be
Dreaming.
around.
She's not a villain.
Well, this is true, but she also took hostage of an entire city.
Yeah.
So I
Did
don't think
she
she's
though?
going to get her kids.
It was
Did she
Agatha
though?
all
Did she though,
along.
Ben? Don't
But-
victim blame.
I'm not trying to victim blame, but what is the court's going to say? This is not a fair society. She's an immigrant for crying out loud.
But
Is
she's
she
also a
documented?
witch.
Nah.
And the what chords? Sokovia
Sokovia.
chords. They were written about her.
Yeah, they're not. They don't grant visas to weapons of mass destruction. That's what Tony Stark
Yeah,
said.
they're going to deport her.
So wait, did 2 weapons of mass destruction procreate? And now
Yeah.
we have 2.
To baby mass destruction.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Hayward's going to want the kids.
Do
Oh
not
my
give him
God.
this idea.
I can't
Don't
say
give
what I
him
want
that.
to say.
Touches
But-
those children.
No.
No, Hayward should end up on ice, is all I have to say. And I mean it in the
In
literal
the
sense.
monster
I
way.
just cannot
Yeah, I agree.
stand him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he gives me serious Mace Windu calling Ahsoka citizen vibes. Like, that was my, like, stand up at the TV and start texting people. Being like, I'm going to find this man. I'm going to fight him.
Yeah, I can't wait for Captain Marvel too because I think there's going to be a lot of family issues that
Yeah.
Carol and Monica are going to have to go through.
Yeah, Carol needs to own up to being like a disaster bisexual who just left her co-parenting child to go off and save the universe.
Yeah.
And then is gonna pop up and be like, "Oh, cool, you're an adult now."
And you got powers?
Oh,
Where were you?
What?
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you been? Is there anything else?
I've got my last crackpot theory. I just want
Let's
to
hear
get
the
it
last
out.
crackpot theory.
Yeah.
This is something I've been saying for a little bit, right? So she's in New Jersey. We
Okay.
know for a fact that Kamala Khan is cast.
Mm-hmm.
We're not really doing the Inhumans in the MCU, so there's no point in doing the Terrigen Mist with her. Do you think that she's going to be one of the children affected by the Hex who gets her powers that way?
Could be.
That's a good idea.
That's a totally.
The
Wonder if
MCU
it's
loves their
last
interconnectedness.
Oh yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
a real easy just throwaway to be like, she was in Jersey, now she can do this, and you
And
don't have
Miss
to
Marvel's
explain
a
it.
show, not a TV show, right? Not a
It's-
movie.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
going to be a show. She's supposed to appear in. They
Captain
said she's
Marvel
coming
2.
back in Captain Marvel 2. Yeah, so
Okay.
so that
she's-
would also make sense.
with
Oh,
Monica
definitely.
there.
Monica. Yeah.
Because Monica's definitely going to be in there. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Also, Maggie found a theory that maybe Darcy might be a character. What character was it?
Oh God, it starts with a K. Hang
I thought
on.
it was a V.
Was it
Yeah.
a V? I'm opening up TikTok. Hang on.
Okay, she's gonna find it, and it hints that that character is connected to Loki. If she gets, and
Yeah.
Kat Dennings knows about the Loki and Darcy fandom.
Oh, that's
I'm
fantastic.
here for this. I'm very, very here for this.
Have I
This
gotten my
character-
inappropriate comment in for the episode yet?
No, Alberto's gonna be so upset.
I know. Who is it?
Oh.
Yeah. So what if she gets hex powers?
Okay.
Then she develops powers, likely someone in the comics, not a random character.
This is based off the costume that she had on, which now we know
Yeah.
isn't entirely true.
Oh.
I can't read it.
Can't read
Yeah.
Can't read it. It's too blurry.
Okay.
You
Hang on.
read it out.
Then I remembered a certain character that I loved that showed up in the comics. Hang on. And then it goes to Verity.
Verity.
Verity
Verity?
Willis.
Oh.
And
Nice.
somebody I saw pointed out, so Verity looks like this. She's got like glasses and pink hair and she's nerdy. And
Yeah.
somebody pointed out that recently Kat posted a picture of herself with pink hair.
Oh.
Ah,
on her
interesting.
Instagram.
Okay.
Hey, that would be fantastic.
Okay.
I'm gonna
I
see
like
if I
the
can
sound of
find
that.
a picture of her with pink hair. And this, if I remember, Verity is one of the few characters that Loki can lie to.
Oh, interesting.
Let's see if I can find.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't see it on her Insta.
It might have been an interview. Hang on.
That sounds good.
Yeah. No, we always want more.
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 Yeah.
Like.
Oh my
Kylo Ren
god, you
last
guys are
time.
making references. Oh, okay.
Candace.
To what?
Candace.
More.
So
Why-
this is. I think this was the hair that she posted like 4 months ago.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
there you go.
But she
Totally.
like bleached her hair and turned it like a red color. So just saying.
Yeah.
She is a powerhouse, and it would be so interesting for them to turn a essential OC that they created into one of the superheroes that is very well loved in the comics, especially
Yeah.
with they intentionally had Darcy go into the Hex. Following,
I kind of agree with what Hope is also
Yeah,
saying in
that's
this
the
chat
kind of
around like
mixed
not wanting to
feelings,
mix
I
the
know.
two. Because
Yeah.
like I kind of like Darcy as an OC, but I don't think I'd be opposed. I also have no attachment, and Hope does, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not going to be upset either way. My thought of putting Darcy in is so that we can use her as a control to show that Monica came out with powers and Darcy doesn't, so we kind of answer
Yeah,
that
there's
question
always
without
that
having to look directly at the screen and be like, so not everybody got it because we don't have time for that, but just if you were already ready, you picked it up.
Yeah,
Unless
like
Yeah.
they're going House of M, and like everybody who's been inside the hex is going to be essentially a mutant now,
Yeah.
like reverse House of M.
Yeah, I love the idea of her ending up being the mother of the mutants in the MCU. But I almost want it to just disband the hex and for it to just go global at that point. Because like I don't need all my X-Men to be from Jersey. I'm sorry, but that's
there's so
rough.
much like if we're gonna have Magneto needs to have his backstory.
Yes.
He has
He
to
can't
have,
be from Jersey.
he has to have the
Oh.
very specific backstory.
Yeah, you can't recon that. You can't recon Logan being alive for over 100-something years.
I saw people wanting to completely redo Magneto, and I was just like, no. Like, we cannot change that story. That
I mean,
story has to stay. Like,
It
you
would
can-
be fantastic if there's like a multiverse and somehow like what they did with Loki. Loki, I mean, it belongs to the MCU, but he was dead after in Infinity War. But then post Avengers, he's jumped into time and he's doing
Yeah.
He did a
Look at
lot.
I think
exactly.
with Magneto, now that y'all are mentioning it, because you can't really redo Magneto's backstory.
No.
If they're gonna do Magneto, this is like the last time they can do it,
but I don't
timeline wise.
even do it now.
Because realistically, it's officially going to be to the point where any character who has survived that long is going to be too old.
Yeah.
Unless the mutants, they like recon and say they have like a longer lifespan.
That's true.
Which I think they do.
yeah.
Like Mystique was aging slower.
But I thought that was just like part of her
Yeah,
deal,
that
like
was-
Logan.
I mean,
and
if we go
Mystique,
by
like, that
if
was
we
her
go
thing.
by the X-Men movies in the 90s, he's still Michael Fassbender. And he should be like in his 60s or 70s.
Yeah.
It should be already Ian McKellen, but
But that's one of those characters that's like Marvel better not like retcon that.
Yeah,
backstory.
you can't mess up that character. Like side
Yeah.
characters, I mean,
Like you have to make the decision. Like, are we going to just cut our losses and we're not going to do Magneto again because we've reached this point of it's too hard to do it, or are we going to find a way to reintroduce this character as like alternate universe Wanda and Peter's? And okay,
dimension,
look,
book dimension.
Peter never got to say the thing in the X-Men movies. And so if we could just bring him in so we could finish that off because we never got it.
Yeah, never got to know his father.
Yeah,
And
I'm
that's
of
the
two different minds when it comes to Magneto because I love Magneto, period, and I love his backstory, and I really don't want that changed. I had a fantastic pitch that I've heard. It was Mark Bernard who gave a pitch about it. The thing that he thought would work best for the MCU if they want to keep it current so that he can just be an older person would to make both Charles Xavier and Magneto black, and then you can move them up because as they were originally based off of civil rights leaders anyways. Like the only way that you can avoid doing the Holocaust one is to at least make them another marginalized group, and
yeah,
then
but
work off of the
marginalized
philosophy
groups
of that.
aren't like you can't just be
You
like,
can't
oh,
interchange
you
that.
can't
I
just
understand,
interchange that.
yeah.
And
yeah.
there's so few Jewish representation in comics
This
that
is
like
true.
Magneto and Peter Parker are like the only two of any importance.
And Peter Parker doesn't get like
I was going to say, here's how great that representation is this is the first time I'm hearing it.
see.
Yeah.
Same. I didn't
Into
know.
the Spider-Verse is the only time it's ever been acknowledged as far as I know on screen.
Exactly.
And it's
Yeah.
a blink and you miss it.
And it might
And
be
I
mentioned
clearly
in
missed
like
it.
might be mentioned in one of the TV shows, but I don't remember.
I think it's mentioned in the video game briefly. Oh, it's in the comics. It's in the old Saturday morning comics. That was the first time I was introduced to that as a kid.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, they're not interchangeable though, and that's definitely something that I think they should not do.
yeah, definitely not. But yeah, so it looks like there's multiverse. We're getting multiverse in Doctor
Yeah,
Strange.
there's so
Yeah.
many ways.
It's
to
happening.
bring that
It's
in.
happening.
It's happening, so
Yeah.
And it might not. We might not see like maybe we'll just see one or two characters from a different dimension.
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes, it's very specific.
It's very
And
specific.
I feel like even people who aren't comic book fans know
Know
the
that.
story. They know Magneto
Yeah,
for
like-
that.
Yeah, it's, that shot from I think it was X-Men.
The first one.
The first X-Men, like I couldn't
first
watch
X-Men.
it as a kid.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah,
really
as-
hard to watch.
So
As a
much.
kid watching that, like that's stayed with me the entire time.
Yeah.
Like I remember that vividly, even though I've seen that. No, I owned it on DVD. Never mind.
Yeah, I watched that a lot as a kid.
I love
Oh,
that
yeah.
movie.
Yeah, that was.
I made fan videos for that movie back in the day.
Yeah, just have
Yeah.
Magneto have a longer
Yeah.
lifespan. As simple
Or-
as that. Just say
Yes.
mutants they live longer. That's
You
it.
can also, once they introduce the multiverse concept, they can have things happen where they can pluck them from different points and different universes.
Very
Different
times.
times, my thought.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's why they're introducing it now, because they have the X-Men, they have these characters tied to hyper-specific points in time that's
Yeah.
officially becoming unrealistic to have them live like this long, just age-wise. So now is a good time to just start pulling them out of the timeline.
And then you can have, 30-year-old Magneto who's been plucked from his timeline.
Hey.
There you go.
Oh, ours is singing Michael Fassbender. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Like that.
Okay.
So we have a type.
Anyways,
I was gonna
Do
say
we have a type for tall, dark, angry men? I don't know. Me?
Villainous.
Yes.
I don't.
do.
I don't have a hyper-specific
tragic
type.
backstory. He has a helmet that's almost a mask. We're
Alter
almost
ego?
there.
Like
Magneto,
people.
Eric.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's all lining up. It's all coming together.
Yeah.
Arthur and I just have one type.
Yeah. One type, one brain cell. Anytime you think there's variation, surprise, there's no variation.
It's just like a different color mask.
Honestly, though,
If that.
that's all it is. It's a different tragic backstory, but it's tragic nonetheless.
It's tragic. Okay.
I'm gonna be excited no matter what happens because
Too.
Yes.
don't really.
Yeah.
I just want to see more Wanda, Vision, Darcy, Jimmy, and Monica. That's all.
I know. That's same.
And of course, I
honestly-
want to see Agatha being like super villainous and just eating the scenery and doing like whatever she wants.
I know.
Honestly, WandaVision has been such a pleasant surprise that I'm I'm ready to see how they blow our minds in the next 2 weeks.
I totally
Yeah.
agree because, as I mentioned before, it was the first MCU show, but it was okay. These characters that may not be like main characters from the movies, they were, important characters, but not like Captain America or Iron Man, right? So it's really interesting.
Okay,
and
so
exciting.
I've been like obsessed with them since Age of Ultron, and as that kind of fan, I am very pleased. I am very pleased that they got their
Moment.
moment.
Yeah, the
they
moment
got
of
their
shining,
moment.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so like Norhal's like side characters, but yeah, like everyone likes this, and every episode has been great. There hasn't been like a so-so episode. Everything is hitting perfectly.
Yeah. I know so many people, and like I'm one of them too, who are like, I would never have said Wanda was one of my favorite characters before this,
Yeah.
but now she is. Like,
Yeah.
I
Well,
was
because
kind
she
of
didn't have enough time.
Yes.
well, and I was much more excited for Falcon and Winter Soldier whenever they announced all the shows, and I was kind of like, yeah, I guess I'll watch WandaVision too. And now I'm like so in love with this show that
And
I am
more-
comforting myself with the idea though that when it ends, I do have Falcon and Winter Soldier.
And also,
My birthday week's
because
gonna
they
be so
said, okay, it's gonna fit into the canon. I mean, with the movie. So it's like, okay, I'll watch it because I want to know what's going
Right.
on. But I didn't expect. Oh my god, I'm looking forward to watch every episode.
Yeah. All right. So now that we're all excited, tell the good people where they can find you.
No, please stand by. Oh, it
Yeah.
makes me so sad when I see that.
And now here's our post-credit scene. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Maggie of the Town, and every Friday I write recaps for WandaVision over on Your Money Geek, where I am the managing editor of entertainment.
I'm Candace at thegeekywaffle.com, and remember, Snooper's gonna snoop.
Hey, Scooper's gonna scoop.
Scooper's gonna scoop. Too many scoops on the freaking WandaVision. So many spoilers out there. Ben, where can
Oh,
people find
okay.
you?
I thought we were going the other way around. Don't know where that came from.
Yeah, it was-
So you can find me on Twitter at Ben is the Worst. You can also hear me on the Katana Cast, which is at the Katana Cast. I'm also going to take a second to steal a plug. because the Katana Cast and Sisters with Sabers are currently raising funds for the Loveland Foundation. I know we talked a lot about therapy tonight, so that is something that specifically helps provide therapy to women of color, specifically Black women, both cis and trans. You can find that on my Twitter. It's pinned. It's also on the Katana Cast's Twitter. If you have the ability to donate towards that, it means a lot to us. Thank you so much.
Awesome. You can find me on Twitter at Nicole Ackman16. You can find me writing over actually a lot of places, but mostly at Next Best Picture. But you also can find me on Maggie's special period drama podcast, Petticoats and Poppies, History Girls at the Movies.
Awesome. And I'm Noor Hall. You can find me on Twitter at Noor Hall, and I write on several places. But yeah, you can see me there on Twitter talking about a lot of things.
Me on Twitter too at r2d2.com and at the Geeky Waffle with Candace. So that'll do it for us. Until
We'll
next
see you
week.
next Friday.